Mm. Good morning. Welcome to another edition of Coffee with Tea. I'm your host, the amazing Tea Street. I'm excited to do this Coffee with Tea today because I think it's going to help some folks. I think it's going to help you the way that this season has helped me to understand this concept just a little bit better. Today's topic: how to faith through a funk. How to faith through a funk. Good morning, Jackie. Have you ever had one of those seasons where nothing is really wrong, but nothing feels right either? You wake up, you go to work, you answer the emails, you smile at the people, you even go to church. But inside, everything feels blah or gray. Am I the only one? Good morning, Val. Something on the inside just feels gray. Not dark enough to call it depression, not dramatic enough to call it a crisis, just a funk. A funk is dangerous, though, because it's subtle. That's what makes it dangerous. Good morning, Alana. Good morning, Miss Woods. A funk is dangerous because it's subtle. It doesn't usually knock you down all at once. It slowly drains your enthusiasm, your expectation, your creativity, and eventually your faith. You start living on autopilot, surviving instead of expecting. But here's the good news: a funk is not the absence of God, it's often an invitation to experience Him differently. So today I want to talk about how to faith through a funk. How to faith through a funk. A funk is a season of emotional fog, not spiritual failure. It's important for us to get that notion that because sometimes the enemy would have us believe that just because we're going through a funk, there must be something broken. Good morning. I see you, Brother George. There must be something broken inside of us, but a funk is a season of emotional fog, not a spiritual failure. The hardest thing about a funk is that it clouds your perspective. It's like driving through thick fog. The road hasn't disappeared, you just can't see very far. That's what a funk does. Good morning, Miss Brown. That's what a funk does to us. It makes tomorrow look uncertain, it makes purpose feel distant. It makes joy seem unavailable. But notice something about fog: it changes your visibility, not your reality. The mountains, they're still there. The road, it's still there. The destination is still there. You just can't see it. The same is true spiritually, y'all. God hasn't stopped working because you can't feel Him working. Faith has never been about seeing clearly. That's where we get it twisted. I want to see more clearly. Open the eyes of my heart, Lord. I want to see more clearly. Can I just tell you that's not what faith is? Faith has always been about trusting completely, not seeing clearly. Sometimes the greatest act of faith, it's not taking a giant leap, it's taking the next faithful step when you can't see beyond it. Don't mistake limited visibility for limited possibility. Don't mistake limited visibility, what we can't see clearly yet, for limited possibility. That's the first thing. Good morning, Toya. Number two, a funk tries to shrink your world, but faith expands it again. Have you ever noticed what happens when you're in a funk? Your world seems to get smaller. You stop dreaming, you stop creating, you stop calling people. You stop expecting anything exciting. A funk whispers, "Just make it through the day, girl. You just need to get through the day." But faith says God is still writing tomorrow. Hmm. When funk is telling us just make it through the day, faith tells us that God is still writing tomorrow. One of the enemy's favorite strategies isn't always destruction, sometimes it's reduction. Reduce your joy, reduce your hope, reduce your expectations, reduce your prayers until you become someone who merely exists. Can I just be real clear with y'all? The King of Kings and the Lord of Lords, Jesus, did not come so we could merely exist. He said he came that we might have life, and that life have it abundantly, or as it says, more abundantly. Refuses to let a temporary emotional season become a permanent lifestyle. That's the difference between your funk and your faith. Faith refuses to let a temporary emotional season, notice I said temporary emotional season. It's not even a long season of depression. A funk is different. I defined a funk for you in the first point. It refuses to let a temporary emotional season become a permanent lifestyle. It intentionally stretches your vision beyond your current feelings. Don't let your emotions put your future on a smaller screen. Somebody needed that this morning. Don't let your emotions, because that's what this funk is. It's an emotional bondage right now. It's a temporary emotional hold up. Don't let your emotions put your future on a smaller screen. I don't know about y'all, but I want to see my screen way out here that tells me what my future is. Number 3, practice future focused faith while you're still in the funk. Did y'all hear that part? Did you hear that the 2 little letters right there? In. It's a preposition while you're still in the funk. Here's what I've learned. Most of us think that faith is something we feel. It's not. Faith is something we practice. You practice gratitude before you feel thankful. You practice worship before you feel inspired. You practice generosity before you feel abundant. You practice hope before you see evidence. Think about athletes. Y'all know I love me some sports. They don't wait until the game day to build their muscle. They build strength during practice. What if your funk isn't interrupting your faith? What if it's training your faith? Anybody can praise when life is amazing. All of us, when we're on the mountaintop, I want to give God glory. I'm praising God. Anybody can praise God when life is amazing. But when can you say, God, I don't feel excited today, but I still trust you? Y'all, that's mature faith, not emotional faith. It's not practice faith. It's mature faith. Practice faith has a way of becoming unshakable faith. When you practice it daily, when you practice it when you get up, when you say, I don't see my son saved in the now, but I see my son saved. I'm believing God for what is to come. In the moment, I can see it. Y'all, I wake up in the morning sometimes with the vision of my son walking out his purpose, walking out his salvation. Your funk may be the gym where God is strengthening your trust. So the next time you find yourself in a funk, don't panic. All of us will have that moment. Don't label yourself as broken. Don't assume that you've lost passion or your purpose. Recognize it for what it is. It's a season of emotional fog. And while the fog may be on the horizon, it can never erase God's promises. So practice your faith. Trust before you see, praise before you feel, hope before you have proof, because faith isn't the absence of a funk. Faith is choosing to believe God, that He is still present, that He is still purposeful, and that He is still preparing something beautiful, even when your emotions haven't quite arrived there yet. And here's the beautiful thing about fog: it never lasts forever. Eventually, the sun rises. And when it does, you'll discover that God has been leading you the entire time. Though you couldn't see all the way down the road, God still had you on the road. And even when you couldn't see more than one faithful step ahead, God was directing that one faithful step ahead. So I came by to tell somebody today, whatever you do, you can faith through a funk. Recognizing that a funk is a season of emotional fog, not spiritual failure. That a funk tries to shrink your world, faith expands it again. And finally, practice future focused faith while you're still in the funk. I dare you to trust God, even when you don't feel Him moving. I'm the amazing T Street, but there is absolutely positively nothing amazing in me that's not in each and every one of you. So today, faith your way through your funk. Have an amazing day.